What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Cooking with Kings. And today, it's not necessarily cooking, but I wanted to make hot cocoa. Um, I've never been a fan of hot cocoa. For the simple fact, I don't like coffee. I know, sorry, but I drank coffee a long time ago when I was in high school, and I threw it all up. Did not like it. Didn't I don't care for the smell of it, but I had hot chocolate milk or hot cocoa, yeah, hot cocoa before, and it just tastes like um, coffee to me, and it looked like coffee. So maybe that's the reason why I don't like hot cocoa. But one of the things I realized was in America, our hot cocoa is. Let me see if we have some in our pantry. Um, we have this stuff. Now, people like it. I again don't like the watery hot cocoa, and that's just me. But I like, you know, like real hot cocoa, like the thick textures, the thick stuff. Um, and that's what I'm going to make today. So let's go ahead and start. So for my ingredients today, I'll be using sugar. I have a little sea salt. I got Hershey's milk chocolate, 2 cups of milk, some cocoa powder, and some ground cinnamon. Oh, and the vanilla extract. Now, I'm going to take my 2 cups of milk and I'm going to put that in a saucepan and bring it to a boil. Make sure you be careful with that because milk will, when it starts to boil, it'll overflow and cause a huge mess. Now, I'm going to take my Hershey's chocolate and I'm going to open that up. Now, I prefer Hershey's chocolate, because I typically you want to use dark chocolate, but I'm not a fan of the taste. I use this right here first, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it before. It's okay, but I don't like the taste. But to each his own. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna take this chocolate and I'm gonna give it a chop. And I want you to use proper knife cutting skills, which I am not doing in this video. My cutting board should not be moving around, but you want to get us a nice chop. I'll do a tutorial on how to use a knife properly in a later video. But give it a nice chop. You don't want chunks in there. This makes for an easier dissolve when you put it in your milk. Now I want to add to my hot milk. I want to add cocoa powder, about 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, um, about a teaspoon of cinnamon. That's about a teaspoon. And uh, about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You don't want too much. You don't want to overpower your chocolate with the vanilla. It just enhance the flavor a little bit. You're gonna get your whisk and give that a nice stir. Make sure you incorporate all of that into the hot milk. You want to make sure there's nothing in there, to make it, gritty. Um, which is probably a good idea to use cinnamon sticks next time. But like I said, this is a quick video. So to combat that, I'm going to take a strainer and I'm going to strain this concoction I made, and it's going to take all of the stuff that's not being dissolved in the milk, and it's going to take it out. So you'll have a creamier, smoother hot cocoa when you're finished with for your finished results. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a nice. There we go. A nice strain. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to put it back onto the stove and bring it back to a boil. Now, remember that chocolate we cut up? We're going to start putting that into this mixture. And it shouldn't take too long for this to heat back up. It's already hot. But I'm going to just add that into the to the mixture. Just put it all in there. Now, as this is cooking and dissolving and melting all in there, you want to make sure you're whisking that. It's going to get thick. So when stuff like this gets thick, it sometimes tends when the heat's too high, it will scorch the bottom of the pan, which you really do not want because that scorch is just burnt. It's just burnt like whatever's in there. It's just burning the bottom, and that burnt taste is going to just be mixed into your hot cocoa, which you really don't want. So make sure you're just stirring that up. It's going to thicken up, so don't worry if it's too thin. It's going to thicken up as it cools too. It's really going to thicken up. I mean, here you can already tell it's thickening. Just keep moving it around so it doesn't scorch. Doesn't take too long. And then once you're finished, you want to turn your fire off. Just give it a few more seconds of whisking. Now that's done. I'm going to take a glass. I have a glass mug. You can put it in whatever you want, a cup, thermos, whatever. I'm using this just for the visuals. I'm going to take that and I'm going to carefully pour that into my glass mug. And you can see how thick it's gotten. It's really going to be hot, so be careful. I'm going to use ready whip for this. I would typically use homemade whipped cream, but I'm not trying to be fancy for this video. It's just going to be an easy tutorial, like I said, and just put that on top. I have a Pepperidge Farm cocoa stick or fudge stick, whatever you want to call it, and I found it at the store. I thought that was pretty cool to use in there too. You can use it as a straw, or you can just bite on it as you take a sip, take a bite out of that. And for a little added extra, I'm going to take some cocoa powder and sprinkle a little bit on top of the whipped cream. And that's it. This is homemade hot cocoa, the way, to me, hot cocoa should be made. Um, yeah, it's pretty simple. You just make sure you got your ingredients right and be patient. And there you go. And enjoy.